What's going on, my scale model building friends? It's James the Yorkshire Modeller back with you again, and we now have issue 30 of Hachette Partworks Spitfire. Issue 30, we are basically finishing off the landing gear, so you've got obviously all the parts just down there, and then fitting the right landing gear to the parts of the wing that we've already done. So, first of all, I am just going to bring the wing in, although we don't necessarily need it just yet. I've got it here, so we can, when we do need it, go from there. So, first thing we need is fit the plate of the landing gear fixture, which is 30.5. That's this one here. Oops, camera's on the wrong side now. There we go. On the bracket in the landing gear fixture as shown. So, all you do is just match up the pictures. I'll show you this when it's all built up so you can see it properly then. So, now then, let me grab my tweezers because this next bit is going to need them. So, you need a little double checking that the parts fit into the parts of the around. Insert the pin 30.7 into the side of these parts. So, grab that in the tweezers like that. This isn't going to fit, is it? Right. Now, if I remember rightly, when I did the build for issue 25, this one is basically the mirror of, I used these pliers instead, didn't I? Get a better grip, and then you push that in there like that. And you can use the flat of the pliers there just to push that in all the way. There we go. So that's that bit in. So basically what you've got is this part can move up and down on a pivot. Next we need the landing gear fixture that we've just built together with the spring, which is this tiny little thing that keeps rolling away from me. So that's the spring just there. And we also need the landing gear indicator, which is this red bit, just here. So, fit the spring into the socket and the indicator through the hole as shown. So, spring fits into that little socket just there. Landing indicator fits into that hole at the other end like that. So now what we do is we take the assembly 30.4 and 30.5 and fit the flat side of the bracket against 30.2 as indicated. At the same time, the two pegs on the end of 30.5 fit over the arm on the top of the landing gear indicator as shown on the inset. So this is basically just the same as what we did again in issue 28, I think it was, wasn't it, this one? So that's basically just going to go in there just like that. So, oops, except I've put that in the wrong way around. So this bit is going to be interesting. Back in a tick. Back, it's the right way around this time. So, we'll put the landing gear into there, we'll put that into there like that. Make sure that rests on, making sure the other side of that kind of pendulum thing rests on top of the spring. So, with the parts in position, fit the bracket in place with a 2.4mm screw. If necessary, adjust the position of the assembly slightly to ensure the mechanism moves freely. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to push the mechanism down with one hand, and then I'm going to use my tweezers to get that into the right position, that sort of brackety type thing. Make sure it's hooked over that first. There we go. So, like that, and then hold that down, and then I'm going to get one of the screws that we get with this issue. Let me move a few of these bits out of the way for you, and I'm just going to screw that in there. Now, it was really easy to get the it was really easy to get the screw out, the pin that holds the thing in. All I did was I got one of my needle files and I just pushed the pin from the other side and just pushed it out. So that will now mean that that can move like that. So, okay. So now that's in place. Now what we need to do is bring in the wheel from the previous issue, which obviously I have super glued this hub on, and then bring in the wings. So obviously they're getting quite big now. Then what we need to do is the reverse of what we did in the last couple of issues back rather, is so we take the wing assembly from issue 28 with the landing gear assembly from issue 29, that's this bit, with the tyre facing towards the wingtip, fit the landing gear through the hole in the wing as shown. So all you do is you drop the tyre through the large hole, so basically through that hole there, down into there, and then that will rest just in there like that. So the whole part can move like that. Move the upright strut of the landing gear into the slot in the opening of the wing, and then move it downwards so that the bar across the top of 29.4 and 29.5 fits into the recess. So that fits in there basically like that. Like that. So when it's in, it sits like that. The diagram on the left shows the landing gear in place. Note that there is a tail on the end of the spring which should be positioned as shown, which it is on mine. You're not going to be able to make it out very well on camera, I don't think. Just up this end, just in here, is where the spring sits. So, identify the 3 fixing point circle for the landing gear on the wing. After checking again that the spring is in the correct position, fit part 30.2 in place. So part 30.2 is this part that we've just installed with the landing gear indicator. So that fits in there like that, that fits in there like that, that fits in there like that. So that is now basically a mirror image of the other side of the landing gear. So I'm just going to fix this now. There's 3 screw holes on this one. So all you need to do with this is obviously just screw these into place like that. So that's one, and I'm holding this down until I've got the 3 parts in. That one's in, that one's in. And now there shouldn't be enough tension on that to hold it. There we go. So move that out of the way. Last screw just going into that hole just there. There we go. So all 3 of those are in. You can see the 2 landing gear indicators. One just there and the other one just there, and then obviously the landing gear all there. Now, last thing for this one is take the wheel guard and check the fit on the landing gear strut. The 2 pegs on part 29.2 fit into the sockets on 30.1. So that's those 2 little bits there and there. So all we do is we take this, of which there has been some negativity on some of the Facebook groups about this. There is another few parts that are coming up as well that don't necessarily seem 100% accurate. So we're going to judge them as they come, I think. And then when you're happy, glue the wheel guard in place. So drop a glue on the top of that one, drop a glue on the top of that one, and then all we do, I do apologise if you can hear the seagulls outside. There we go. So there we are. glued on. That one's on as well. Lovely. So, there we go. Both landing gears on. And looking good. So that's it. There's the landing gears sorted. You can see them on there nicely. I'll fold those up and just put them under there. So yeah, that is really it then for issue 30. With issue 31, we get the outer panel for the underside of the left wing, and we also get a hatch cover. So, wings are pretty much done. The landing gear's done now. The wings, I think we're now going to start doing the underside over the next few issues. Underside of both wings. One of the parts that I mentioned a minute ago, it wasn't quite accurate, was something that's, I seem to remember somebody mentioning about one of the parts was told you put it in one way round in the magazine. It's actually the other way. We'll find out when we get there. So guys, please remember to like, share and subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model building geekiness, and I will see you in the next build for issue 31 of the Spitfire, which should hopefully be up within the next week or so. So until then guys, please remember, happy modelling and stay safe.